Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Monday episode of Sunup on 7. I'm Kevin Mendes.
And I'm Courtney Menzies.
Courtney, it's so exciting to start the week with you, and definitely our viewers are going to be excited about today's episode. So let's tease them, what can they expect on today's show?
Well, if you have been thinking about healthy meals after we have a heaping session of the beef for you, we also have a nutritionist coming in talking about how you can better plan your meals.
And also, we're going to have another segment that complements that to talk about what are some of the healthy options you can use in your meals. So it's going to be a very, very good Monday, like we said. So we thank you so much for joining us. Let's go to the couch.
Let's come on, chameleon.
Answer that's worth looking for today. Just in time,
and he's here to talk to us
the
about
writing appears on the
show that we're
wall.
on right now. Tell me.
And I were the first ones to see.
And we're going to be talking about the hot shush that has been
The world
happening
that we see may seem that will never change. They say, but if you tear down the wall that's blinding us all, you'll see the way today. A place to call your home, a place where you can grow.
Muy buenos dias, beautiful Sunup on 7 family. Welcome to your Monday episode. Thank you so much for welcoming Courtney and I into your space. If you're watching via Facebook or cable TV, we want to say welcome. And we also want to say, may the fort be with you. We're very excited about today's episode. So before we get into it, let's bring you the weather. And that's courtesy of the Belize Med Service.
A pleasant Monday morning, Belize. After some residual rainfall activity in the extreme early last night, weather conditions became fair and dry across most of the country overnight. We expect that seasonably warm and mostly dry weather conditions will continue for the next few days. For today, you can expect sunny skies with only a few cloudy spells, and then tonight will be partly cloudy, except for the small chance of isolated thunderstorms developing over the Maya Mountains this afternoon. Little to no rainfall is expected across the country. Temperatures this afternoon will climb to around 89 Fahrenheit along coastal areas, 95 inland, and 85 in the higher elevations of the mountain Pine Ridge. Lows tonight will be near 81 Fahrenheit along the coast, 74 inland, and 68 in the hills. Winds over the open sea will be out of the east and southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and sea conditions will be light chop. A high tide is expected at 10:49 this morning, and a low tide follows at 6:29 this evening. The sun will set at 6:13 this evening and rise at 5:24 tomorrow morning. The moon will set at 7:18 this morning and rise tonight at 4 minutes after 9. The outlook for Tuesday and Tuesday night is for continuing mainly fair and warm weather conditions. In the fire risk forecast, satellite imagery shows several fires or hotspots across the country over the past 24 hours, and the risk for wildfires will remain high during the next 24 hours as warm and mostly dry conditions prevail over the area. In the sargassum forecast, we expect more mats to impact coastal destinations across the country during the next few days. And that's your latest weather report and forecast from the National Meteorological Service. Do enjoy the remainder of your Monday morning.
Good morning, everyone. That was the weather update, and now Jules is ready for the Monday morning beef. Jules, good morning. They said this might be a fat beef given the weekend's win, you know. So
I think the word fat can always be safely used, but I think it's going to be a very cool beef. I'm a new person. I don't have to scuffle in fear.
okay, that's why you bring Courtney today. Just
That's why, yeah.
compliment it, no?
And if I need to flame it up, you know, she got fire. I think
She
you
does.
heard her last week on the issue of the monarchical mayors.
Right. The
That we have
dynasty,
the dynasty. Yes,
yeah.
this is the
Definitely.
dynasty.
Right, so are you ready to start with our beef?
Let's get it on.
So the new bus fares go into effect.
First, though, let's say that congrats to Courtney.
Congrats to Courtney.
And she is a big supporter of Josemai. Are we able to show? Are we able to show her medal from the climb of death?
Yes.
Right, the San Felipe climb of death. Let me see if I can do it here.
Looks like Glenn is going to zoom in too.
Okay, Glenn will zoom in. All right.
All right, Courtney.
Right. So.
How was that experience for
Are
you?
they able to?
it was
Are
my
you able to
best
get that up,
race.
Vic?
Yeah, there it is.
On my one? There it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. So
Yeah, so this is my fourth race. In my first one is in November, so from November to now.
but please show the Josemai branding on
Oh,
this.
so this
Yeah,
one
yeah.
race
That's
is
what
sponsored-
matters.
Yeah.
Josemai
He sponsored the
sponsored.
race.
And at
Yes.
the base
And
of
at
the
the
medal.
bottom, like there.
Yes.
Yes.
So all
he
your
was giving
athletic
out-
efforts are a tribute
Yeah.
to the great Josemai.
Josemai. Yes, he was there handing out the medals himself. So
Right.
yeah.
So you ran 3K, the
no,
6K.
this is roughly a little more than 4 miles. This one, but this race has 10 and 4 miles.
Okay.
So it is both, and I did the 4 miles. And yeah, from November to now, this is my fourth race, and it was like my best one. I think it was nice. The scenery was nice.
So you are running San Felipe Orange Walk,
Yeah.
the extreme rural boondocks.
Yeah.
But it was
It was beautiful.
Awesome.
The sunrise, the cows, the pastures, the hills, and the fog, and the weather was cool. It was probably our prettiest run so far.
This is someone who has run in Placencia, who runs in
I didn't run in
Belize City.
Placencia.
You didn't run in, yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
do Placencia.
Do it
But I
Zero.
did the Coastal Road, that's Jaguar Run, and yeah, I did Belize City, that's Reef Run, and Turkey Chat was also in Belize City. So yeah, and then I run Belize City,
So you heard it here first. The woman, and she's prepared to move to Orange Walk South.
San Felipe. Yeah,
San Felipe.
There you go. Are you prepared to move there? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I'll go live among the cows.
As host
Don't
of the
fence
episode.
me in. Excellent.
But congratulations.
Congratulations.
Definitely
Thank
to you and the team
And-
that completed
Yeah,
the
the
race.
Golden Give Not Run Club. Yeah, a bunch of them competed. I believe one of our members came in second in the 10-mile overall female. No, in the age category, her age category, she came in second for females in the 10 miles. So
Excellent. Well, we had Indira doing Victoria Peak a few weeks ago. We
Yeah.
have Courtney, and it's all inspired by my athletic excellence.
I feel so, yes.
You know, I set such a high standard. I'm kidding.
feel
These
so.
these women are
When
awesome.
he goes up the steps this morning, I'm like, I gotta give space to Jules, you know. He's coming at full speed.
that I think space is the operative term. But let's start. Let's start.
Yes. But definitely, Jules, now let's talk about the new bus rates that go into effect.
Yeah, the new bus fares go into effect this morning, and there is no shelter for commuters because NBC, the National Bus Company, is also implementing the rates.
Yes.
The Belize Bus Owners Association. It's 50-cent increase for short stops and $1 on the long stops. I think we have some pictures of the new rates in the folder. And so it's really it's a punishment on commuters, or it's punishing for commuters. I don't think there's any culprit here other than this needless war in Iran. It makes no sense, but the world is in a crisis and commuters will take the lick. The government of Belize is taking the lick. It's subsidizing these, it has to subsidize the bus owners. The Ministry of Education, do we have the graphic from the Ministry of Education, guys? The Ministry of Education put out an important graphic yesterday. Are we able to pull that up? How much it will cost them for 3 months to subsidize the school buses? They're doing it retroactive till April 13th.
Wow.
But it's going to cost them. Victor, are we able to get that up from the server? Do we not have the server isn't up? Okay, that's a problem. I need clear communication on that,
Yeah.
guys. I need. Is the folder there? All right. Can you bring me the computer, please? Yeah. So it's $233,000. It's going to cost the Ministry of Education only for 3 months to subsidize.
Wow.
And that's just a small indication of how much it's costing the government to subsidize these bus runs. We are in a crisis. We are messed up, and it's going to be. Just bring it. It's going to be a lot of pain for the government of Belize, for the people of Belize, because of this price of fuel. There's one piece of good news. I believe the price of regular went down by 31 cents on Sunday at midnight.
Yeah,
So that's
just yesterday.
one piece of encouraging news. But it's really extremely concerning right now for the government and the people of Belize.
Yeah.
It's not a good time.
Yeah.
It's not a good time. So, allow me to are we able to just switch this across, guys? Are we able to just take a quick break and then we'll be back with it? Just, if we could just put up the logo and then I could get that
Bumper.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Can we do a quick bumper? Yes.
Yeah, just do a quick bumper. Okay, I apologize. I think we've resolved that. It was my fault, but these things happen quickly, so we're back. So the new bus fares, 50 cents for short runs, $1 for long runs. People, to Ladyville now, it's $2.75, or I think some might pay $3, depending on if you are paying $2.25 or $2.50. And so it's going to be a lot of pain, and there's no way to avoid it.
Yeah.
I cannot find a culprit here, people. You cannot blame the government of Belize in this case. This is a world crisis, and we're going to take a lick. I can only imagine what it's like for commuters this morning, both on NBC and the BBA runs. Having to pay, a lot of us will say, what's 50 cents or $1? Indeed, it's a subsidized increase, but you add that up over a month, that's $20 or more.
Yeah.
And that will cause people a lot of pain.
That's true. So
Right?
I wonder how will, again, employers accommodate this stress that now their employees will be able to go through. Again, globally, we're aware this is a crisis, and some people have been modifying how they go about working, working hours, reducing the days, reducing the time to be able, or going more hybrid to accommodate this cost that people are going through. So like, I wonder what the public service again is going to say about this, what the private sector is going to say about this. Will they make any accommodations for their employees? That's one thing I'm concerned about. The next thing is also like, there's no conversation on will the fuel be reduced? The taxation on fuel be reduced to be able to accommodate again what the bus owners are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's this some people who don't commute. They have they don't see how the struggles that commuters go through. And there's this very privileged take that I heard like the other day where it's just like, oh yeah, just carpool, or like, I think if people could have carpooled, if that option was there available for them, they would have taken it. So you might say like, oh, just do this, just do that, but you don't, the circumstances don't always line up for those people. And that's a privilege of people who maybe have vehicles or who don't have to catch a bus every day, who don't recognize that these people, commuters are catching bus. Nobody wants to catch a bus.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it is like a class struggle too, right? Given that the commuters are going through this, like there was a stand by the buses last week. Commuters were getting affected. Commuters are getting involved in a discussion and saying something. But I'm saying, at what point will private vehicle owners, like, what will it take for you to crack? What will it take for you to make a stand to say, we need to do something about this because they're feeling it too? But it seems that they're not feeling it because they're just going with the status quo of how things are working, right? So I'm like, what it would take for you as a private vehicle owner to join, like public transportation and say, we're also getting affected by the cost of fuel and what we can do.
Right. But yeah, it is divided, and they have this thought in their head where it's like, well, I have to pay it no matter what's the cost because I'm not going to walk and I'm not going to catch a bus. I will use my vehicle, so I have to pay it no matter what's the cost. But you don't have to pay it. Like, you can do something. I'm not saying like, take to the streets and like go crazy, but there are steps and there's things. But, again, with the increase in prices, and it's kind of out of our control.
Yeah. And my next thought is like, given that now there's like the subsidy with the fuel and what it's going to cost to be able to do that, how will this now move the mark in terms of, they said by X time we're going to have this new fleet of buses and that kind of thing, right? So it's an expense we're incurring now. And what would that mean later on? Will that affect the amount of buses that we're going to get in the future? How will this affect the MDC's
and will the prices reduce if they get electric buses?
Yeah, that's the next thing, right? So it's like...
Yeah, but you can't just pick an electric bus out of the air. So if I could read these statistics from the Ministry of Education, that they're sponsoring this subsidy. So it's $233,755 over 11 weeks. Remember, it's only for 3 months. The vehicles get an average of 7 miles per 1 gallon of gas, which is atrocious, but that's what we're dealing with, all these legends. So there are 14,000 students who benefit from this initiative, and 14,000 students and teachers total who benefit. So it just shows the cost that it will be, and we don't make money out of the air. The government doesn't have money to throw away, although it does throw away money. It does subsidize a very high cost of operation for its most elite officers. I want to be clear on that. But at the same time, I have to say that, do we have the graphic from the Ministry of Education, guys? And the new bus fares? But, it's just a really... It will cost, and it's going to hurt, and it will be a lot of pain for everybody involved. The commuters are taking pain this morning. The commuters are taking pain this morning.
278 school bus runs.
Yeah. So the commuters are taking the pain this morning. The public purse is also taking the pain. But I am saying, down the road, the people of Belize will take the pain because this money is coming. It was not budgeted. The war is not foreseen. So we just have to keep an eye on it. Let's move on, guys. So next subject, guys.
Cayo UDP in disarray.
the Cayo UDP is in disarray. What's new? Well, you see, Cayo occupies rare territory in the canticle of the UDP.
Okay.
It's their only municipal, I can't even say stronghold, but they control the municipal seats there. It would have to be considered historically a stronghold, but they still don't have a sweep. It's still a mixed council. And they have historically had a very strong representation, particularly in what's called the Red Hills of Cayo, which are blue hills right now, and Cayo Central is also blue. These are historically UDP strongholds, but they still have Cayo West. But there is not a lot of love for the party leader, Tracy Panton, in Cayo. And the situation is only worsening. We know that Omar Figueroa, the UDP caretaker for Cayo North, has resigned from his caretaker post. I think we have a picture of the text message that was sent into the group. Are we able to pull that up? Yeah, so he says, good afternoon. I will not be with the Monday afternoon meeting with the party leader. I will not be participating in the Monday afternoon meeting with the party leader because I have resigned from my position as Cayo North caretaker. Continuing would mean that I'll be forced to fight against what, am I able to see the left side, guys?
What I believe
Was premeditated, yeah.
sinister and malicious attacks against my character in an office meeting of the National Party Council. These attacks are baseless, unethical, should have never taken place in my absence. The fight for Cayo North is extremely challenging without any such internal battle, so it's best I step aside and ensure the party does not endure another ugly internal battle. I have been serving since 2009 when PM Dean Barr appointed me to the upper house. My character and my integrity has never before been brought into question by the party I've served. I could go on, but it's best this ends here.
Yeah. So, inconsequential because unelectable.
Okay.
He's been a dead man walking like many UDPs for a long time. So it's inconsequential, but consequential at the same time because, you know, it's an erosion of support for the leader. And it's playing out publicly. Everything plays out publicly. Also, we see text messages have been shared where Sheena Pitts has been reaching out to Alberto August, the former deputy chairman of the UDP. And, you know, he's refusing to meet with her. Are we able to show those text messages, guys? He's refusing to meet with her. And he's saying to her that, you know, she says, you're a strong UDP, make we talk, make we find common ground. He's saying there is no common ground to be found. So, again, inconsequential. It's just another UDP jawbone. All political parties have them. Just as a strong UDP, may I invite Sheena is asking him. The chairman, current chairman, is asking the former deputy chairman, chair lady, sorry, if I can bring you into the central. They're offering him a seat in the central executive for what? Only to be disrespected again. An in-person meeting is useless and a waste of time. There is absolutely nothing. Scroll it up, guys. Nothing any of you can say. I don't think we have the whole thing. Yeah. But I'm just saying, inconsequential in terms of these people are unelectable. Nobody will vote for the UDP. And don't call me. Nobody will vote for the UDP because Alberto August is there or not there. Yeah. He's not an electable person. If he was electable, he may run a long time. I am just saying it's just this continued division within the UDP and the inability of the new leader to consolidate leadership. We saw that Mike Guerra, the Cayo West representative, stood up in the House and didn't even acknowledge his leader while acknowledging his PUP, the colleagues in the PUP for helping him out. I'm just saying the UDP, which has historically had a stronghold in Cayo, is unable to get it together even under Tracy Panton's leadership. It may take time, but they don't have time because municipal elections are around the corner, and we have to be real. Omar Figueroa is good for votes. He might not be able to beat Mr. Shabat, but it's good for 300 to 500 people that could say, boy, Omar, I there with you, you may help me. And if he's not under the tent, it augurs poorly for the UDP in the municipal elections in their only stronghold. The only place they can call a stronghold.
Yeah.
So the UDP has to be extremely cautious with municipals only months away.
Yeah.
And Dr. Figueroa was always also pivotal in that case where he was challenging the voters list.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Yeah, you say, I think that Dr. Figueroa's issue is that he made play Queensberry rules and the PUP play karate. Right? You can't play Queensberry rules with their people, their breads.
I see.
You have to play karate. You have to play the dirtiest, lowest game. And I don't think that he was able to do that. So that's unelectable. But a relentless fighter and good for 300 to 500 votes in Cayo North, which they need. So that's consequential. Anyway, but that being said,
Jules, now let's talk about Shyne plays sold-out show in the US.
Shyne Barrow on Saturday night at the King's Theatre in Brooklyn. Do we have
Theatre
video
in Brooklyn,
of
yeah.
the performance, guys? So there it is, King's Theatre. It was a sold-out show. And if we're able to play some audio from it, this is a clip we ripped from YouTube. The first thing I gotta say.
See the Lord sucker protest. Can't mess with these rap cats. With your weak raps. Running around talking this and talking that. See me in the streets try to give me that. Andrew Cunanan. My two cannons blast. Ass. Got me messed up in the game. Get your shirt stained. Keep your fire.
Okay. So, respect to that.
Yeah.
First, I want to say, Shyne got back his voice.
Right.
There's a great historical rap song that says it's mostly the voice that makes you buck. Shyne got back his voice. Shyne had his voice. He sounded legit. It was a tour de force performance from the clips that I saw. Yes, hometown crowd, Brooklyn crowd, they were singing along. They knew his songs. This is the 25th anniversary of his debut album, Shyne. And it was really well received, a tour de force performance. The fans were engaged. He was on point. Far be it from me to criticize anyone for their wardrobe. I dress like a fisherman every day. But I think some people were critical of him coming out in a suit, but
Yeah.
this is his aspirational
Right,
effect.
exactly. Dress
He
for the job
can't-
you want, not the job you have.
Dress
Dress
for
for the job you want, not the job you have.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
because he had some rappers from his era who came out. I think I saw AZ, Joel Santana. But these guys were dressed like how rappers dress.
Yeah.
And Shyne was not, because Shyne, and he at every turn he mentioned Belize, his story, that he plans to be the first rap prime minister, that, I went from a kid in Brooklyn to be the leader of the opposition in Belize. Shyne is sticking to the script.
Yeah.
And that script, America loves it. Because hip-hop music is the story of human possibility. Hip-hop music, that's what it celebrates. And tour de force, sold-out show. It's only a small venue, but a very nice one. I think maybe 4,000, 4,500 or 4,500 people. But his show was on point. His rap was on point. And it was a great performance. Now, does it parlay into political success in Belize? It does not. But it parlays to great success over there. He says that he will be releasing an album that he's recorded with many of the top producers. Respect to that. Man, he's doing it.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult for a 45-year-old man to come out and rap the music that a 18 or 19-year-old boy wrote. And I thought, he doesn't curse anymore. And that album was littered with profanity. It was a 19-year-old boy. And so I thought that kind of hamstrung his performance, that he didn't curse because he's now a statesman.
Yeah.
But, he's sticking to the script,
Yeah.
right? And he said it's all in a plan to return to be prime minister. But I do not think that success in that world, however great, does not parlay into success into Belize. Why is this? Because Shyne Barrow is not a consensus builder. Leaders are consensus builders. His track record in Belize has not shown that he's a consensus builder, that he's able to get people on side. And in the UDP, as we're seeing right now, it's very difficult to get UDP on side because they are naturally a divisive party. That is their nature.
Yeah.
They like to fight.
Yeah.
They love to argue. That for them is a form of worship.
Yeah.
Argumentation is worship. So, respect, success, he certainly defied my expectations. There is a great space in music fandom in the United States for legacy artists. I mean, the Rolling Stones, the Who, Bob Dylan, these people are 80 years old. Bruce Springsteen, coming up on 75 probably, are still performing sold-out shows. There is a great space for legacy acts, and he pulled it off with credibility, with style, and with a flow. He was on point. He was well rehearsed. He knew all his raps, and I could imagine how confining it is to have to perform the music that a 19-year-old who was in a very hostile situation wrote, but he did it with credibility.
Yeah.
Respect to that.
Jules, I hope that, by him navigating this space and being aware of like what his history was with the UDP here, he's able to realize the power that he has within his own niche to be able to advocate for changes in the country.
Yeah.
Hip hop and R&B, they're like songs that are part of revolution, part of like speaking out against the government. And I hope that maybe this space will allow him to be able to like find his gold in there and how that can be of influence here. That's what
I think if God would send his angels in order to, I agree with you that it gives him a platform to be a very productive critic or advocate for change. However, he's always only prepared to interface with the Belizean political dynamic. As the future prime minister,
Exactly. And you can't be punk in politics.
you can't.
You can't. Yeah.
Explain.
You can't be punk in politics. You can't be like critical and revolutionary and all of these things in your music as punk is, naturally, historically.
Yeah.
And not that he's singing punk, but
Yes, it's the same spirit.
right.
Yeah.
You can't be like, and then be like, oh, but I want to be prime minister.
I conform to the status quo.
Yeah,
I see
I
what
want
you
to be
mean.
in the
That's
mainstream
an
system.
excellent point. Yeah.
You have
Yeah,
to fill in.
I agree with that. And I think that is his problem because of his massive ego. And it's ego that makes you occupy that stage.
Definitely.
None of us could do that. Respect to that.
sure.
Respect to that. But you cannot fit that ego into the space of humility, which is required for a public servant in Belize. So I would wish he would use his platform as a productive space and that spirit of hip-hop's defiance and rebellion. But, every time you talk to him, yeah, I'm going to be the next prime minister
See what
and
you mean, yeah.
all this. As soon as I'm done my tour, I'm coming back. I'm going to be in Mesopotamia. That's between him and the voters. But I think they spoke quite clearly last time. But we have to see where it goes. But let's not go there.
Yeah.
Respect, major accomplishment, tour de force performance.
Jules, now let's talk about Senator Denison versus the president.
Oh, boy. Okay, so Courtney, play this out for me first. Explain what happened.
Okay, so in the Senate on Tuesday, they were discussing a road traffic bill, like amendment bill, right?
Right.
And Senator Denison stood up and he gave and he recounted an incident that he endured where he was essentially, these things happen. You get extorted by the persons operating the checkpoint, and he was saying that they were like telling him, pay this amount, whatever, as most drivers have probably endured at some point, right?
Okay.
But he's saying, this is a man who like knows the law and stuff. He's a senator and whatnot.
And an attorney.
And an attorney for sure. And so he's like, they're doing this, they're doing this to me, who knows the law. I know he knows his recourse, what he can do, what's right, what's wrong, and all of these things. And he's trying to tell, he's then generalizing it to this amendment, right? If it raises the ceiling of the fees paid for certain tickets or whatnot, then it increases the hustle of these public officers who man the checkpoint that they could now ask for more.
Oh, okay.
That's he's trying to put that point out, but then the president breaks her and tell him that he's basically essentially, there's a standing order that you can't impute improper motives on others in the house, right? But she, as the president, who has some level of authority that's not specifically stated in the standing orders, she says, I don't want you imputing improper motives on public officers.
Yeah, I think the 84 of the standing order says that she is responsible for the overall tenor and demeanor of the Senate.
Yes.
Right, so she's saying, like, you are putting, improper motives on the public officers, and we don't want to talk about our public officers that way in this Senate.
Was she right or wrong, Courtney?
Completely wrong.
Completely wrong.
You talk for the people, then what you represent.
Exactly, and he's talking a reality. So you can't talk reality. You can't talk reality in the Senate because Madam President said so. Madam President, show me the report from the Senate that they had in the Senate probe. The Special Select Subcommittee for the investigation into the cruise. He can't show we that. He can't show we that. The Prime Minister talk about the money they waste. Well, show me the report. Waste some money. Waste of time. So you can't talk reality. Everybody know that a police checkpoint, regrettably, is often a hustle point. What that mean? The higher the fine, the higher the hustle. So if the fine are 150, if they increase it, they increase the hustle to 140. So you can't talk reality in our house because Madam President said what, Courtney?
They're imputing improper motives on the public officers.
Public officers are corrupt. I hate to tell you no. The public service is corrupt. Certainly not everybody. 100% no. But public officers are corrupt. Police officers are corrupt. Sure. So you can't face reality now. No. The Ministry of Truth only deals in lies, only manufactures lies. So now we work for the Ministry of Truth. Manufacture the lie. No. Keep up appearances. This is not George Price days, brother. Talk the truth. Talk the truth. I find that abominable. I find it reprehensible. I find it execrable that you go in at the Senate, you're talking about a common, universal, shared Belize experience. But you can't talk about it because you're imputing on. There are 14,000 public officers. Let me give you a reality check. At least 1,000 of them, at least, are significantly corrupt. Significantly corrupt. That's the reality.
I mean, they're kids. I remember there's just an interview with a kid asking them what's their future job, and just say, I want to be a customs officer, right?
Yeah, because the customs officer, they're rich.
And I was like,
they're rich. They got buildings. They're building buildings.
Right.
So it's
right.
We know
So I'm just saying, we can no longer talk reality in the Senate.
Right.
Keep up
bordering
appearances.
on censorship. It's a Senate,
It's
like,
not bordering on censorship. It is.
Right. He could stand up and talk about whatever he wanted, pertaining to the bill, but it is pertaining to the bill.
It's material.
Yeah, exactly.
It's factual. But you can't talk about it because you're imputing on public officers. So you can't. So the 14,000, you can't impute, man. Everything is good. Why? This is the same president who is conspiring with the government to block the tabling of the the findings of the Special Select Committee into the Portico contract. It's really, it pains me. It pains me to see that we went through a democratic exercise. One of the senators, the one who is worth 24 million, and I understand, if I'm worth 24 million, I wouldn't be here, brother. You couldn't get me if you even gonna beef, much less figure out Senate Special Select Committee. Right? So I'm just saying, the one that he walked out on, just walk out. Public figure that we the pay, just say, I walk out, I know they, So we cannot get the findings of that. In my opinion, this is my opinion, it's being blocked. They finished it. The president said that session is finished, whatever. It's in the public interest. The prime minister whined about the cost overruns. He doesn't whine about the cost overruns of so many dubious political operations within the governance of Belize. But he continuously said it's a waste. Of course, it's a waste of money. Anything seeking the truth
It's a waste of money.
for politicians is a waste of money. What we do is a waste of time. That is how they see it. They murder the truth. Let me try to confine my remarks thereafter. But yeah, I think the president is dead wrong. And if you cannot speak about a lived reality, a documented reality,
Exactly.
there are people criminally charged, there are police officers facing charges for extortion. And you can't talk about it. Boy, wrong as the day is long. And let me go above my pay grade and say that if we lived in a realistic or a practical democratic space, I don't think there's any space for a president who tries to muzzle just the speaking of casually known truths. It's not like the man is saying, well, I know the prime minister made to do that. He's talking in the most general, factual terms.
Yes.
I don't think that there's space in our democracy for a president of the Senate who seeks to muzzle the iteration of the truth, plainly known facts. Come on, man. Get out of here with that. All right.
Jules, now let's talk about the pension for mayors.
You know, I wish this one is hard.
Oi.
I don't, elected officials, I'll speak in the most general terms. Through my long vista of experience, my experience has been that elected political persons, in general terms, certainly not everyone, enrich themselves during elected office.
Okay.
They work out deals. They have favored contractors. They do not engage in competitive bidding. They accept contributions. They accept gifts. That is my long observed factual experience.
Okay.
They hustle. That is what I have observed. They do this because we operate in a space without controls. We operate in a space without oversight. We operate in a space without transparency. Contracts are awarded in secret. A nurse gets a contract for paying City Hall in secret, for example, but there are many other such arrangements. So I do not believe, historically, there is a high level of integrity in elected life. Certainly, not everyone is corrupt. I know persons who I believe were not corrupt in their time in office, a handful. But it's very, so they floated a proposal, the Mayors Association, for mayors who have served 3 terms to get a pension. Because of the nature of political life in Belize, I find it very hard to support this. Now, if you give a job 10 years, by right, 3 terms is 9 years. By right, I want to say you should get something. But when you operate as a god, and when you can call the various heads of department, the various managers, and tell them, listen, here how this thing going. You're going to give the contract to so-and-so, and I go and deal with him. When you have that power, you are not a public officer. You are one of the gods of public affairs that can enrich yourself from the award of public contracts.
Yeah.
I don't know that everyone has done this,
Yeah.
but I know that many have done it. And I find it reprehensible to think that taxpayers should pay for a pension for people who have operated without controls, without accountability, and without probity in the conduct of public affairs. I'm spiritually opposed to it,
I get it.
based on experience. Now, I will say though, the PSU, at its address on Labor Day
Okay.
at the Bird's Isle, raised a very good point that 7 of 9 of these councils, all except Belmopan and Belize, have outstanding collective bargaining agreements. So they do not want to give their workers respect. They do not want to respect. They, according to the PSU president, they discourage unionization, but want to benefit from best practices of labor. Go Franya.
Oui.
And Mr. Rigo Veos, he named him the mayor of Corozal. Is one of those people. He's the head of the Mayors Association right now. And he's the one, he's the president, saying that we should have this pension. And the PSU president, and you'll see his remarks on news later, called him out, saying that how can you seek to benefit from a pension when you are depriving your workers their rights as workers? So I want to say, we have to understand that these political gods, once they're elected, they send people home left and right. And that's the nature of politics. Because so many people are hired because you're a UDP or PUP, and you're hired, a lot of them, for entry-level jobs. And they find a way to weed out the UDPs when PUP win, and UDP find out a way to weed out the PUPs.
Yeah.
So all these people do not have the promise of any permanence, of any pension, because they operate at political whim.
Yeah.
And when the tide turns, they find themselves on the street without a job and without a pension.
Yeah.
So why are you so lucky? Why are you so chosen? So I have a problem with it, but I know also that it's a norm in Parliament, right? That parliamentary members get non-contributory pensions, which I am very opposed to for them, because I know about the House of Representatives very well. And they get a non-contributory pension after 2 or 3 terms. Yeah, after 2 terms, I believe, you get a non-contributory pension. So
I also think it's a bit disconnected, in terms of like you're fighting for your pension as a mayor, given that where will this money come from? And you're saying it's from taxpayers' purse, right? And so like it does not connect with the reality that Belizeans are experiencing now. So you're saying this is the reality now, but we still want more for ourselves, right? So where is the consideration for the people that you're supposed to serve? We say, we hear you in your fight. So as much as we want to have a pension, the current reality, no, contribute to it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's disconnected from our present space, and it goes back to just a selective group of people
Yes.
wanting more for themselves.
Right.
perfectly said. In fact, far better than I. Let's move on. The producer is giving us a cue.
Last one, Jules. And this is the celebration one.
Yeah.
Say it, Courtney. Go for it.
Channel 7 wins top prize for Belize investigative journalism, but who thief would now?
And it's 3 times in a row.
No, not
Three-
in a row.
three times in the 4 years, yeah.
Last year we slip up, but not
Yeah,
again.
3 times in 4 years.
No, first of all, 3 of us were nominated and all the works were excellent. And I want to praise my colleagues who continue to put out good investigative work. I'm picking Courtney, early choice for next year's
All right, let's
winner.
do
I praise Courtney Menzies. But, I don't want to fall into trap of comparison. We win. I'm not into that. It's a great honor for our team, for the hard work that Denver and Brian put in. And our those who were available were there on Friday night. So big up to the team.
I love it.
And it's a great honor for us to have won the 3 times that we have won. And it's a reflection of the hard work of the team, and everybody's involved in that. If we could, and that we won for the Houtif Budna story. It was named Taken, but I am, and it's a panel of international judges that selects it. And as I reflect on it, I didn't see it at the time, but it's the most important work I think we've done, and it's also the most dissatisfying because the public knows. Everybody knows the thief Budna. But the political elite refuse to accept it. No minister has made a statement in the House of Representatives trying to give account. The Prime Minister said on Channel 5, a crime could have happened.
Yeah.
We forced the CEO for Home Affairs to admit last week that a crime occurred. We can't even get the acknowledgement, guys, that a crime happened. So let us be very clear in what we're looking at. Because every day Richard Rosado remains as Commissioner of Police, refusing to acknowledge, dodging that a crime has happened. Every day Richard Rosado pretends he has not seen this footage. That a crime happened in broad night. In Orange Walk Central, every day, that there is not a base acknowledgement that a crime happened and police officers were involved. Police officers are committing that abduction. Every day that happens, it delegitimizes the rule of law in this country. Every day the public can see that, has this happened before? Have citizens been abducted? Yes. Was it caught on camera? No. We are seeing it now. The level of seriousness, rightfully, with which they are treating the issue of PC Philip Garbott. He was caught on camera abusing his family. The crimes were removed because the charge was withdrawn. Every day, or I should say, they acknowledged that. They said, we'll treat it with seriousness. All right, good. Why? Why? No, why? Because it was shown publicly. Has it happened before? Regrettably, hundreds, scores of times. Police officers, very traumatized people, abuse their families. The amount of acknowledgement, the amount of oxygen, rightfully, they gave to that. The amount of lip service, I have to say, they gave to that. Because they only did that because everybody could see it.
Yeah.
If nobody had that video, nothing may happen. But this video they cannot respond to. Because this is an act commissioned at the highest levels of political authority and law enforcement. So they can't acknowledge this. They cannot, the Commissioner of Police, the Commissioner, the top law enforcement officer in our country cannot say a crime happened on the night of August 22nd, 2025. He cannot say it. He cannot say a crime happened. He cannot say police officers were involved. He cannot arrest a single person. He's the only person. The police are the only people with the power of arrest. They cannot arrest a single person. I'm saying it pains me that we live in a country where we can just pretend this isn't happening. Where we can pretend we're a country ruled by law or governed by laws. We are not. We are a country ruled by the law of the jungle. If this can happen, and it happened, and it happened, and a man remains in a Guatemalan prison because of it. And I believe the authority of Commissioner Richard Rosado has been delegitimized because he cannot even give a plain acknowledgement of the obvious, of what everyone knows. And the DPP cannot prosecute because they have created a web of criminal complicity in a conspiracy to murder the truth, to bury the truth. There is an active criminal conspiracy to reward people who participated, to reward people who are complicit in this cover-up. They are using the authority of the highest office in the police to cover up. And it really is, we can't answer what is caught on camera, who thief Budna. It's so lamentable. So, it's I want to commend the University of Belize for honoring journalism with the prize. That's very important because, and show the picture, guys. Show the picture of you see the same people there? The Prime Minister said that the yellow journalism. The Prime Minister put out a press release. He said Jules Vasquez and yellow journalists. The minister will talk about tabloid journalists. Me and my team, the Channel 7 team, we are, and I don't say this triumphantly. I say this as, look where them Bali to deal with. Look where them Bali to deal with. Yellow journalism, tabloid journalism. Why don't you go for ya? Why don't know about journalism? You Prime Minister, you ministers, you all know nothing. You all are enemies of the truth. You all want to obfuscate the truth. You all want to bury the truth. Want to know about journalism? Stop talking about what I don't know about. But I know about politics because I've been in politics. For 30 years I've observed politics. So I could talk about own business, but I can't talk about mine because no one day in our life I want to wake up and say, what really is the truth of this? What I want to wake up and say, what's politically convenient? What's politically expedient? We're going to make our money. We're going to make our money for him. We're going to make our money for my family, my friend, my people. That's not what I wake up to say. So don't tell me about journalism. In fact, your insults inspire me. Your insults inspire us. It is always worrying, and it hints of tyranny. I know I sound extreme when leaders like Nayib Bukele in Salvador start complaining about the media. The press should report this and the press should report that. Don't tell us what to report. We don't report to UNO. We report to people.
Yeah.
That's our boss.
Yeah.
And we don't work for incentive. We don't work for, boy, help me out. We don't work for that. And that's what worries them. But I've said too much. Again,
I also want to note that yesterday was World
Press Freedom Day.
Right, so that's why the prize, this prize coincides with that day, and just the importance and journalism, is under attack all over the world. We're supposed to have freedom of the press, but we see journalists in certain countries being specifically targeted, being killed to muzzle the truth. At the beginning, for example, not the beginning because it stems 80 years, but at the start of the current aggression and the genocide against the Palestinian people in 2023, October 23. For the first year or so, you were seeing so many things coming out of Palestine, and now it's very, very limited because the journalists, they've either been killed, they had to leave, for their own lives, which is, valid. Some journalists decide to stay and stick it out.
And die.
Right, exactly. But there've been so many, hundreds of journalists have been killed in countries like Palestine and many countries all over the world.
Yeah.
And as we conduct our jobs here, we have to keep those journalists in mind and things that people, this is a choice. This is your duty, but you choose this duty. And World Press Freedom Day is a day that you to spend to just think and observe about all the journalists and what they're going through, and in a way be grateful for here in Belize, that we're able to exercise this freedom that some of our brothers and sisters, they don't have.
Yeah.
Real.
Definitely.
Thanks for putting it in context, Courtney. In fact, the very reckless criticisms I make of public officials in other countries will get you in prison.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And that's why we have to fight
Exactly.
for this space to exist.
Right.
We don't just fight for the news. We fight for the space in which the news can exist.
Yeah.
But I've said too much. It's too late.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Sorry for the kerfuffles at the start. Do we have a spectacular sunrise?
We do.
We do.
But we also, once more, congratulations to you and the team for putting up this story. And this is our sunrise to share. Is this yours?
It seems like
That's why he
mine.
wanted to.
It seems like mine. It seems
You planned this well, Jules. You planned this
it
well.
was all
This morning?
curated.
It was
No,
all
that
curated.
was Saturday morning, I think.
Okay.
So with that,
Saturday,
folks, we'll go
Sunday.
into our first commercial break. When we're back, we have a conversation with the awesome Karen Rosito talking about nutrition.
that guy?
Stay tuned.
Show me some traffic, guys.
Perfect.
roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
My bro, take a quick pic of you right here, bro.
Alright, wait a second. Why? By the looks of it, I think my phone done.
Bye. Please tell me, I want to use that thing again, bro.
If I be serious and I be honest with you, I can't afford to spend big money on phone right now.
Bye, but who said anything about spending big money? Smarter than that agree. They got phone deals, plans, they have everything that agree right now.
No man.
But yes, it happened right now. Plus, they even have raffle and they raffle money, then they raffle TV, everything.
Well, I think we need to ride the agri right now.
But I agree, let's go
Let's go
now.
Visit this smart booth any of the 3 days from May 1st to 3rd at Agric 2026. Get amazing deals on phones and plans and your chance to win a cell phone, 55-inch TV, and cash. Smart, bringing people together.
You're up.
These charter means aren't
We're navigating along the coastline. This morning, the 2023
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Sherry Kelso,
And here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your Nation Station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
Muy buenos dias, beautiful Sunup on 7 family. Welcome back to your Monday episode. Just before our commercial break and our beautiful sunrise, we had a great conversation with Jules. Again, many topics to go through, and if you want to stay tuned to it, you can always go back and rewatch our Facebook Live. Definitely sets a tone. What can you expect on the week? What can you expect on the news? Move on to our first guest conversation, and she's comfortable on our couch already. Which is Miss Karen Rosito. Miss Karen, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
How is your energy this Monday? I'm definitely sure it's a 10.
20 out of 10, boss.
Oh my God. Even my phone dropped.
This is a Monday. I actually just came back from the US yesterday. So I'm like wanting to be on vacation, really, but jumping up and say, thank God I have something to do.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm sure all our viewers will benefit from this conversation today. It's, nutrition is always such an important conversation, and even in small ways, changing your diet, you don't have to go extreme.
No, you don't.
Just change your lifestyle in small ways and you'll see a difference. But we want to start with a fit check while you're dressed in the way that you're dressed today.
Usually I'm workout clothes because I'm on the go, but today I'm wearing a nutritionist hat because I don't think a lot of people know this, but I've been a nutritionist at Belize Family Life Association for years, always part-time. But they introduced a new program on Monday, an MCH, Maternal and Child Health. MCH, they've always existed, but now they refer most of their pregnant and expectant and after pregnancy mothers to the nutritionist.
Why is that so?
Because of obesity. A lot of young moms are coming with pre-diabetes or diabetes and high blood pressure, which, by the way, is very, very dangerous for expectant. And it also will interfere with the development of the fetus.
Yeah, like I'm aware that some people would come like preeclampsia and all of these things.
Yes.
But it's interesting that you're talking about this because I have a friend who's pregnant and she's eating a lot of sweets. And I am like, oh my gosh. I was like, how are you monitoring that? But also like, how are you like controlling it in terms of like, are you exercising while you're pregnant and all of these things?
Yes, and remember the sweets, like Courtney and I were discussing off camera that, remember everything has sugar and salt. So it could be, do you have a sugar addiction? Do you have a salt addiction? Why are you doing this to your body? And remember, it's not only you. Don't be selfish. There's someone going, and that child literally will be more dependent on the salts and sugars and very cranky, right? So whoever it is or whoever, you need to exercise. Even if you're on bed rest, open, close, widen the hips a bit. All right, let's say you have a pregnancy. Just do this, sitting down. You notice I'm doing it, I'm sweating, right? Well, I'm always sweating. But I don't understand people, I say people, not only Belizeans, we're not all over the world. America is huge.
Yeah.
But it's the same problem. Why, when you get pregnant, you need to eat for the dad, for your mom, for everybody else, except yourself. There is a pregnancy diet.
There you go.
More fruits, more vegetables. And don't tell me foolishness about I'm addicted to sweets. You have to start a little, like you said, step at a time.
Yeah.
Think, okay, I want sweet. Eat watermelon. I want something salty in your mind. Eat the plantain chips, because for some reason it quells the salt craving. So there are a lot of things that we could suggest. Instead of this, eat this, and check your sodium content in these foods. Because everything, I bought last week Triscuits. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah.
You know it. It's salty, Courtney. And for me, watching my pressure, because at a certain age, it will come, right? So I look at it and I said 6 or 8 Triscuits will give me all the salt I need for a day, right? So you have to check your labels. And if you are expecting a child, you want the best for your child. In pregnancy, we allow you to gain 20 pounds over your normal weight. And if you were obese, you're up the creek without a paddle.
Right.
Because will you exercise? How many pregnant women you see walking or running?
Yeah. I think we also have this notion that you should be extra careful with your body, which you should. Pregnant, of course, you have to be careful. But that doesn't mean you can't do hard things. You can still be active and get out there. And I do understand. I want to acknowledge though that some women, it's a lot on their body. They can't walk, like it's painful. But especially in your early pregnancy days, I think.
Courtney,
generally, well, I've never been pregnant, so I don't know.
Because you, the mommy, start eating excess calories. Remember, I give you 300 or 400 calories over what you need. You're a runner, so you're going to get 1,500 calories. But let's say, Karen, I'm pregnant, I'm going to give you 300 calories for the baby. Why would you, let's say you weigh 140 now, why would you want to go up to 200 pounds? When the poly baby only weighs 10 pounds, the most, 6 to 10, with the placenta and all that. So we get very serious, but not only that, but how after you give birth.
Yeah.
And then you are say, that's it, Courtney, I say, that's it, the baby make her gain weight. No, friend, you stuff your face.
Yeah,
right?
That's the thing, right? That's what I'm thinking. Like, if it would just be that way, that you bulk up during pregnancy and once you deliver your baby, then you go back to normal, but that's not the case. Especially, like, I'm thinking of people that have preeclampsia and they did not get checked. They have issues for, like, maybe they could possibly get, like, kidney failure or something later down the line. But I'm like, people are not thinking about
They're
this.
not.
And, like, once it's out, then all my life goes, like...
And then, people who watch their body, what about the stretch marks with the ginormous belly? Stretch marks are literal for life unless you get the abrasion surgery. But understand that if you were to come to me right now and I check your weight, are you done 10 pounds overweight? You and I will fight to keep that diet. And the diet to fill you up is usually a lot of fruits and vegetables to prevent birth defects too.
Right. So if you were to have, let's say, a woman in her first trimester of pregnancy, how would you approach her diet and how would you approach their lifestyle that they need to have? Like, what recommendation would
First thing, it's an interview, whether you're pregnant or not.
Okay.
And what are you eating? Let's go back to what you ate in the last 3 days. Then I show them, you never had a single fruit or vegetables in 3 days. How is this passing of stool? Are you constipated? Then we look at, say, 1,500 calories or 2,000 calories. Break it down to them. 2 slices of bread, 2 pot spoons of rice, which is a cup, with enough fruits and vegetables. And then the third meal will be beans. Oh, but beans hurt my stomach. No, you need to eat your fruit first, then eat the beans. So the stomach, so it's a lot of things we go through with them. And they literally have follow-ups every 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
So, but you as a runner, if you were to come and say, listen, I need to slim down, to be more agile, to be lighter, so I can move. It's a different diet.
Right.
Right? So I want to put it out there that one thing I will not encourage is these crazy diets.
Or like these generic diets, right?
Or generic, crazy is like maple syrup diet, where it's only maple syrup and cayenne pepper.
Or like cabbage
Oh my
cabbage
gosh.
soup.
Cabbage soup.
Or the military diet where you...
Oh my gosh.
You know them, right?
I know all that.
And then you get GI, gastrointestinal issues, a lot of burping, passing a lot of air, and you always feel bloated.
Yeah.
Girl, it's what you're eating.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing I tell them, let's say you go to a party, as I did yesterday, and they give you a big hunk of cake, and when I say big milk cake, right? Take a piece that we serve in Belize can be divided into 3 or 4. So cut it in maybe 3 or 4, refrigerate it, and have it 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
As a snack.
I'm curious, how do you find discipline in your clients? Like, because it's
That's the hardest part.
It's a challenge, right? How do people show up with discipline, and how do you guide them in the process of building a disciplined life because it's your health?
Putting the fear of God into them.
Oh,
listen.
Tell me.
You will end up with 1 foot hobbling.
Oh.
Right?
You have to be stark in that
yes,
reality.
and they often get like rewards. When I did private clinics, I'd be like, if you lose that little 3 to 5 pounds, I'll give you $10 off.
Oh.
And then money talks. Or the easiest persons to put into discipline are the ones who is doing it for a purpose. Like, my wedding is coming up, I need to lose 20 pounds. We start measuring. The reward is when you come, I use the tape measure and a body analysis scale. So it's right there.
Yeah.
Right? So I literally go through them, and you know, Kevin, I could talk, right? And be like, girl, I know you're getting married, but wedding pictures are forever.
Exactly.
They're forever, right?
And the wedding life is forever.
Forever.
Too. Yeah.
And you can't blame the man if you look by her and say, she was a little calf, no, she's a cow, right?
Oh my God.
You know, I'm just saying the man. So what, good morning. so what I'm saying is that for me, like, let's say I measure a biceps. Okay, it's 13 inches, and you come back, and you gain muscle, but you lose the flab. This is what you did. You get a report every time. And of course, there are pictures. Take a picture with your shirt off or just your exercise bra and show the progression of, because literally, and I think the other guests will explain, you are literally what you eat.
Yeah.
You are what you eat.
Yeah. If I can share, what works for me is, so like, again, what is your purpose for exercising, right? And when I started like doing CrossFit 2.5 years ago, it was, I don't have any hypertension, no diabetes. I am going into my like late 30s. I'm 36 now. So I'm like, I don't want to develop any of these while I'm older.
Because it's the time.
So like what I do every 6 months is do a blood test, right? And showing like, okay, my cholesterol is on check, my diabetes, my glucose
blood
level
sugar.
is on check, you know? So like, for me, that's like, oh, it's working, right? So like, it keeps me with my consistency because I'm doing these check marks every year.
Yeah, but that's you, because you care about you.
Yeah, it was my purpose, yeah.
Yep,
Like,
a lot of people don't
Right,
care.
that's the first step. You have to, discipline is how much you love yourself.
And looking at your family history, mommy, how did my grandma die? Oh, it was diabetes. It's there.
Yeah.
Or maybe lifestyle too, but the way of cooking. Or it was heart disease. Watch yourself. Do your blood test. If you join any of the NHIs in Belize and neighboring districts, you will know that it's only $11 to do a test like that. And triglycerides in the Belizean population is rising. Why? The overconsumption of carbohydrates, bare. There are people, triglycerides, I think it should end at like 160. People who come into the clinic with 800, 900, 1,000 mgs, right?
Yeah.
So it goes back to how much you really care about yourself.
Yeah.
Are you selfish? Do you want to put your family through that you're sick, worse like a stroke? So for me, like I said, putting the fear of God in a nice way, right? And encouraging them. So if you came to me, I would give you 3 okay meals and 2 small meals. So an okay meal for you, Courtney, I can look at you and see, when you're not training, is like a slice of bread or 3/4 of a half cup of cereal with all the food groups in it. So it would say people that's a lot of food. Yes, but it's a little bit of things. So it fills you up. Having your snack if you're hungry, eating well, watching the coconut oil, right? Because people then want to use coconut oil. Finding ways to prepare meals that are low calorie, counting your calories. You all have fancy watches and phones.
Yeah.
Put it in the phone and watch the calories. Because for you, Courtney, I think you would come you would need like 1,500 calories a day to maintain your weight. But then you exercise, you're burning like maybe 400. That's why I ask you how many. So it's a deficit. You will lose body fat. Losing weight is a science. And gaining weight is a science.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the conversation around pregnancy and nutrition definitely like sparked the interest of some of our viewers. So I'm gonna like put this situation to you. It says pregnant women have cravings and some are uncontrollable. I used to purposely get off after work every day at the bus stop away from a pizza shop to like prevent themselves from going for these cravings. But how would you help somebody navigate cravings? But in a way of like where you are health conscious and being able to like still.
Okay, so the pizza, just say the example that they use, the pizza shop. Why not use a pizza? You know the pita bread?
Yeah.
And putting on things like chicken, grilled chicken, vegetables, spinach, low-fat mozzarella, and you still have a pizza, making your own pizza sauce.
I see.
Right? So you get it, but when you have a sweet craving, which is the worst, or chocolate, eat or unsweetened dark chocolate from PG.
Yes, I support that.
Yes, right? So over time, the brain it changes how it sees things, and then you won't want the chocolate will be super sweet. right? So, and there's a time and a plan for everything. When I say plan, I mean a healthy eating plan. I hate using the word D, diet.
Yeah.
The letter D for diet because some people think of it as D is death.
Like starvation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's, you have to condition yourself. That 1 cup of rice or couscous, you know,
Yeah.
Mediterranean pasta, it's easier to cook, right? So cook your couscous, your quinoa,
Yeah.
right? And people say, oh, it's expensive. Expense is based on what you consider a priority. Because you want to be right at the concert, $60 to $100 to jump up, right? And say, oh, when you could have bought 2-3 weeks worth of healthier food.
Yeah, and it's like the investment you're putting now for like later on into your life, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think about retirement in terms of like a financial saving for later on, but how you're saving your health so you can still be able to enjoy your later
You've
age.
heard the horror stories as he finished, as he retire, he dead.
Yes, like I had so much savings, so much plans to go somewhere, and I can't go anywhere because I can't.
And then you're not watching your health.
Yeah.
You're not watching that leak cholesterol where they rise, or the bad one, which is the low density lipoproteins, right? Because the HDLs, the high density ones, if you've ever read that panel, is the good protective cholesterol. Then you have very low density lipoproteins. Boy, if that high, you're in trouble, right? But then everything, I'm not saying like diabetes is reversible, but you can control it just through food. And you, okay, diabetes is like this. What you put in will raise your blood sugar, the pancreas is not working, your insulin that you're taking or metformin is not working. Get out and do some exercise, 20 minutes. Watch your sugar start behaving. What does the body need to move?
Yeah.
Right? Sugar, energy.
Yeah.
Did you drink a Cliff Bar running yesterday? Or
probably a gel.
Yeah, I usually take gels when I'm doing long
Okay,
runs. Yeah.
so did you check the nutrition in a gel? All right, so you sit down and you check it. What is it? Do I need 2 for 4 miles? No.
No.
Depend on your stores, your energy stores, right?
Yeah.
So it's a matter of mind over matter. And I want to say, Kevin and Courtney, if you don't mind, it does not matter.
For sure.
Then start save the credit union for your caffeine. Is my thing, right? Because we have bodies, the human, that you need to maintain. My sister living in Jacksonville has a cat, an obese cat. Who has diabetes? He needs to get his shot every night. And that is a true story. So even the animals, right? So I look at people and the way, and I'm like, I'm going to be a nutritionist until the day I die.
So would you say like your diet has to be related to your lifestyle? In terms I'm saying like the cat, for instance.
Yes.
You're like feeding it and the cat is just like dormant and not moving around.
Not moving.
So similarly with people, we're just going to like eat and just stay like not moving around, like sedentary, you know?
Yeah, but I think, well, everyone should take it personally. I'm going to start eating sensibly today. No wait till next Monday or when my birthday or when I jump on the scale.
Or New Year's.
And then one more thing, right? Everyone has a basal metabolic rate called BMR. Yours is probably, like I explained, that you will need 1,500 calories. His is more, probably 18 because of what you do, even though you're small. But the minute you start getting that little swell around your belly, you don't know, I have to drop some and do more. But you can't eat 800 calories or 500 calories and expect the body not to suffer the consequences of you starving it. Right? So and again, like, if you're eating well and you go eat fried chicken, you'll have diarrhea. Right? Yeah, because even tacos, right? You'll have. So know that, listen to your body. What I did while I was in the States, because, you know, food is plentiful, I started keeping, I always have a diary in my mind, but started writing it down and calculating calories. I even put it. And it was awesome and eye-opener. You know, I like my Lee Bear. So I picked the lighter bear, 80 calories compared to 200. So I didn't gain a single pound. Didn't lose any weight, but I didn't gain either.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of writing down, get your weight and your height. Let's say you don't have a fancy scale. And know for 5'2" and I'm mature, 140 is good, right? For 5 feet or whatever and I'm 30, then 140, 130 is good. But it's all about that waist. Measure the waist, because where is the visceral fat?
Yeah, yeah. So as we start winding down this conversation, Ms. Karen, I love the fact that you're talking about how important is what you put in your body, along with, like, how do you manage your lifestyle in terms of, like, the exercise. Like, I love that you always mention that. What I would like to add in is to, like, also, like, manage your mental well-being.
Yes.
Because your cortisol levels, when it is increased, that can also add to, like, weight gain or like habits that will make you gain weight.
Exactly.
Also, right?
You have to train the mind and the body. Train your mind to get up every day, get out of bed and do 30 minutes. I don't want a single Belizean to come on your thing and tell me, I don't have time to exercise. You have time for that on Facebook, yes? Use little 5 minutes. Even if you're at work, right? Up,
just careful
down, right? Okay. Up, down. Do your, talk about, I have cellulite. Then do your squats, right? Do your squats. So, it's, I could talk the whole day about nutrition because I see its benefit and I see how not eating well takes people. Because if you were told, you have diabetes today, or these doctors will say you're pre-diabetic. Know that that's a warning.
It's a warning.
Okay? Your pressure kind of high, or only when you're angry, your pressure go up. Well, these days it will burst the pipe, right?
Yeah.
It will burst the pipe. What pipe? You know in the news, and you saw, I think you all had these nutritionists on your couch, someone talking about 80% of Belizeans are overweight and obese. Morbidly obese.
Yeah.
So.
And so as we start, like, as we wrap up this conversation, Ms. Karen, can you please remind our viewers where can they come for a consultation with you, and how should they come to the consultation? What should they bring? Anything? Like, how should they show up to the
I usually ask for you to just come, because I don't want to say, bring me a one-day diet, recall what you had, because they're going to want to eat oats and fruits and vegetables. But when you come, be prepared to answer a lot of questions about your history.
Okay.
You have kidney problems, all the questions.
Okay.
And a full body measurement where you get on a scale that passes current through you. So some people are funny about taking off their shoes. Then cut your toenail then. I don't know. Use athlete foot powder. Because people like, you didn't tell me, get on the scale barefooted and I take your body measurements.
Okay, and all of that happens in your consultation room?
Pardon?
All of that happens in the consultation
Yes, you have
room.
an hour.
Okay.
Yes.
And where can they find you?
Well, it's only by calling me and making an appointment, because I'm at BFLE most days. I work there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I can't take appointments after 10, after 11. So it's that I don't have a private clinic anymore. Because BFLE has taken up my time, and it's well worth it.
Yeah. I'd like to hear that.
Yeah, but I like to push women and men to do something. You don't have to go to a fancy gym. Because a lot of women make us say, go to a gym and dip on your phone, right? You're on your phone. But with us, well, we have aerobics, we have different things. But we have like 150 women and a few men. So in 3 different classes. But what I'm saying, you don't have to pay your 40, 50 a month. Do something, right? Get out. We have beautiful, right here along. How many people is the walks on for sure?
A lot.
I love it, and it's so chirpy, and it's such a great space.
Yeah, the promenade and Marine Parade. It's amazing, just beautiful.
No, watch. Who is talking on their phones? Who is walking with a friend and walking like they have all day? No, honey, you have to keep a pace. Most of us have fancy watches, because you can tell me what your heart rate is right now.
I have to go find it on my phone. Yes.
No, it's not displayed.
Yeah.
No, this is because it's a Samsung. It's different.
Okay, what is your heart rate?
Honey,
Where's the play?
I have a regular analog watch.
Oh yeah.
I am.
He does do it for the.
I just run.
He does do it for fun.
You don't use a monitor?
No.
He in it for the. He does it for the love of the game.
Get a Garmin so you know what's happening.
Okay, it's my Christmas wish list.
Save only 400.
Yeah.
Wait. About 300 US, but they have cheaper watches.
Definitely.
Like for right now, because I'm super excited, my heart rate is way up, 107 beats per minute.
Girl.
Because I'm talking about...
Breathe. Ms. Karen, we thank you so much for joining us today on Sunup on 7 to give us some helpful advices as to like why is nutrition important, how can we build a healthy lifestyle. The plug-in on pregnancy and nutrition was very, very
I know. I wanted a whole segment on that because
Look
you're
at
bringing someone into this world.
Yeah.
You can't be selfish.
That is true.
But on the other hand, your next one will be to invite me to weigh
All
a
right.
live human being
Let's
and
do
go break down what is important.
All right. I like that. Let's do it.
That's
Let's
for
do it.
sure, yeah.
So, folks, with that, we're going to go into our next commercial break. When we're back, now we translate into like, what are some of the food that you can eat to stay healthy?
Healthy. You are literally what you eat.
Thanks for that reminder. Commercial break, and we'll be right back on Sunup on 7. Stay tuned.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for the journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Bye, bro. Take a quick pic of you right here, bro.
All right. Wait a second. Why? By the looks of it, I think my phone done.
Bye. Please tell me, I want to use that thing again, bro.
If I be serious and I be honest with you, I can't afford to spend big money on phone right now.
Bye, but who said anything about spending big money? Smarter than that agree. They got phone deals, plans, they have everything that agree right now.
No, man.
But yes, it happened right now. Plus, they even have raffle and raffle money, then they raffle TV, everything.
Well, I think we need to ride the agric right now.
I agree, dog. Let's go
Let's go
now.
then.
Visit the Smart Booth any of the 3 days from May 1st to 3rd at Agric 2026. Get amazing deals on phones and plans and your chance to win a cell phone, 55-inch TV, and cash. Smart, bringing people together.
You're up.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating
airplane.
along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Sheree Halsell, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Wake up to positivity and inspiration. It's a fresh and diverse twist on your mornings. Tune in to Sunup on 7 every weekday morning at 6:30 a.m. right here on your nation station, Channel 7. It's the morning show you don't want to miss.
The roads of Belize connect us all. Riders, drivers, families, friends. Every day begins with a little routine and the confidence that life's journeys are protected. From school drop-off through the daily grind and everything in between, each with different roads ahead, yet one common goal: to arrive safely. Atlantic Insurance stands with Belize's riders and motorists with affordable protection, support, and peace of mind for a journey ahead. For the roads we share and the lives we protect, Atlantic Insurance is by your side, insuring you from life's unexpected. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
You're up.
These charter mints aren't from
We're
an
navigating
airplane.
along the coastline.
This morning, the 2023.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm Sheree Kelso, and here's what's ahead for you on 7 News Tonight. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craft.
Belize, you're watching the Nation Station, Channel 7.
Santiago Castile Limited advises our customers our main entrance through Central American Boulevard, Belcan is under construction. Savvy Supermarket is only accessible through the Philip Golson Highway entrance. We are sorry for the inconvenience caused. Thank you in advance for your patience during this upgrade.
Welcome to the V Department Store. We are conveniently located on Coney Drive in Belize City. That's right on Coney Drive in Belize City. At the V Department Store, we offer a wide variety of groceries, cosmetics, kitchen appliances, kitchenware, electronics, and more. We've also recently expanded to the second floor to better meet your household and office furniture needs. We now have a wide variety of furniture, home decor, and accessories. We have a shared vision for a comfortable and customer-friendly shopping experience. Visit us today and be warmly greeted by our reasonable prices and cordial staff. The V Department Store. Experience the ultimate shopping destination.
Muy buenos dias, Sunup on 7 family. Welcome back to your Monday episode. We continue on the aspect of nutrition, and this time we're joined by Ms. Elsie Wolf, the owner of Natural Choice Belize, talking about what are some of the healthy ingredients that you can put into your meal. Because remember what Ms. Karen left off, says you are what you eat. Before we get into that, Ms. Elsie, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday on Sunup on 7.
Thank you for having me.
How is your energy today?
A little bit low. Came home late last night, and I got the invitation to come on here. So of course my mind has been busy all night, almost all night. Trying, yes. But I'm always excited to come here and share some exciting food options.
Thank you. So first of all, we're seeing noodles here on display. What was the reason why you said let's talk about noodles on today's conversation?
Well, when I asked what the topic should be about this morning, the suggestion was something new in my store. And I'm like, well, I just recently started carrying the homemade egg noodles. And I'm like, well, since ramen is in the news again, let's bring it to the table.
That is true.
I grew up eating a pasta, but we always made our own pasta at home and using simple ingredients and using flour and eggs. Eggs, we had chickens on the farm, so we would use, if we had excess amount of eggs, we would make them into pasta, and I grew up with that.
Okay.
And recently, I decided to bring it to the market through my store, and people have been interested in it, and I think it's a relatively new idea here in Belize to have homemade egg noodles, but people are enjoying it.
Okay.
Awesome.
And there's different ways we can use it. We can make it into soup. We can use it for spaghetti and meatballs. There's different ways of using it.
So I like that you're saying, like for instance, we're having this egg noodle pasta, and it's like what, like I feel like it's important to like start thinking about what are the noodles made of, because some of them can just be like zero nutrition, right? Based on how it's manufactured.
Right, like ramen, yeah. I would like to say that ramen is probably one of the most processed foods out there, and it is a simple convenience food. And when you think about soup, in particular to the ramen topic, why do people grab those kind of foods? And one of the reasons is convenience, and also, but you know, soup is an age-old food. Like people, like it probably is as old as time itself, basically. And but in years past, people have used bone broth for their soups, and also just simple ingredients put together, and that is one reason why people are still reaching for it today, because it's supposed to be a quick meal. But because of the convenience food today, they've done a lot of shortcuts and added a whole lot of nothingness to the food.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that these pastas are the best in the world. We will never be perfect, but this is definitely, in my opinion, so much more wholesome than, let's say, the ramen out there. And it's just simple ingredients. It's flour and eggs. And we can talk about how the flour is processed. Absolutely. We can have dead flour, bleach flour and so on, or we can have more wholesome, more organic, whole grain flour. And what we have here today is just simple flour that was found in the store locally, but using free range eggs. And in the future, I hope to also make sure that I also have the option of organic pasta made with organic flour. But then the price, of course, will go up as well. So it's a relatively new product in my store, but people are loving it.
For sure. And so talk to us about the different types you have. You have one with a little sauce and then one in a soup.
Right. All right. So let's go here to the noodles. The soup. This is a broth here that I made using. I'm gonna be full disclosure today. I use a quick, simple broth. I'm using the bouillon cubes from Edward and Sons. And so if you are in a jiffy and you want something quick, you can do that. Or you can even be even quicker and use a vegetable broth that's already made, but that one you would have to still dissolve and add your own seasonings to. And that's what I did this morning, because it was, I needed to do it very quickly and I wanted something wholesome and yummy. And with those bouillon cubes, you can actually control the amount of sodium you're going to add. You can water it down, add more seasonings, more garlic powder, more ginger, whatever seasoning floats your boat. And we can actually, add a little bit of fresh chives to it and make it even more appealing. And also a little bit of fresh chives always tastes really wonderful too. And authentic soup would have real broth, either from chicken or bone broth. and that would make it even more wholesome. So a quick tip would be, if you want to go away from the ramen, cook your soup ahead, your chicken or your bone broth, whatever you're used to making, or you're gonna try and make.
Yeah.
Make it ahead of time and freeze them and freeze them in little packets, and then you can also cook these pre-cook these pasta and like for the week, and then just pull them out and put them in a cup or whatever to take it to work, and you have a wholesome ramen alternative.
I do see people like freezing it in like, you know, ice cube trays or like, you know, they're like squares, and they freeze it into like a little cube, and then they just pull out the cube, and then you melt the cube, and you're
right.
meal.
And you could do a concentrated cube if and then just add water to it as you melt it. And it doesn't have to be a lot of work. It will be more work than going buy the packet of ramen in the store. But you know what? We're looking for health.
Right.
And simple ingredients. And we can go all the way to organic or start with something like this that's a little bit more achievable.
Yeah.
But we can go all the way to have organic pasta as well and make our own bone broth from scratch. And then we have, this is just spaghetti and spaghetti sauce over here. I know it's a quick little assemble here this morning, but you can add your ground beef to it, add more protein yet. And I also brought sauerkraut today. And so we can even add some sauerkraut to a dish like this and make it even more healthy. Oh, I didn't even put it there. And
Could you share what are some of the benefits of sauerkraut?
the sauerkraut benefits are we have lots of natural probiotics in there.
Okay.
And so you are healing your gut, you are nourishing your whole body or your immune system with the amount of probiotics you have in the sauerkraut. And this is a locally made sauerkraut, authentically German made, and it's a wonderful, wonderful product. It does. And it's fermented, sauerkraut is fermented cabbage. And out of all the fermented foods, like kimchi, kombucha, all of them, kefir, and those kind of fermented foods that are making a comeback today. Sauerkraut is basically on the top of the list in terms of the amount of probiotics that you get from one small little serving like that. So you just add a little bit to your dish, even to your ramen, you could add it to. Okay. Yeah. And if you would like some.
Yeah. Let me try it without the sauerkraut, and let me try it.
Oh, sure.
With the sauerkraut. Okay. Courtney, do you want to try anything?
Do you want to try?
Let me try this one then.
Try the pasta with.
Yeah. I'm gonna try the sauerkraut.
And these pastas, they have a good long shelf life as well. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, I love this. You know, like, again, it's like going to like what people would get in a pack of ramen, but this is like, again, having your health in mind.
Right.
And this is really what we're having still.
And everything you put in here, you put in yourself. And so every single ingredient is controlled by you.
Yeah.
So you can make it as healthy or as quick as you have the access to.
And the thing about soups that I love is that you can just add things, and you can add what you like. If you like broccoli, you can add broccoli. If you like, you know, it's such a versatile meal, and it's so good and so comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely customize whatever soups you want to.
Yeah. You mentioned something that I connect with, Ms. Elsie, as in regards to like cooking, which is that you're conscious about how you're nourishing your body, right? And I mean, like, if you love yourself, you're gonna be very conscious about what am I putting within my meal that's gonna be good for me. So like that's one thing. And you also like mentioned for the people that don't have the luxury of time during the day to prepare a meal, you mentioned something like as
if
effective.
You take one day out of your week to prepare.
It makes like your previous guest was saying, like people say they don't have time, but you need to have, or you should want to have time to nourish your bodies, because if you don't have a healthy body to do stuff, then you're just not going to be able to live your life well. So it is important. We are what we eat, just like your previous guest also was saying. I so agree with that. We are what we eat. We will never make perfect decisions, but we can always make the next best choice.
Yeah, and then like I said before, it's like small steps. You can take small steps instead of just going all in. We're substituting something or lowering a portion or trying something a little bit healthier, meal prepping at least 3 days out of the week. Just small things make a big difference.
Yes,
That is true.
That is so true.
Yeah. And what's also like a win about this conversation with you right now is that often people see like, well, how can I make it healthy? You know, like where can I find inspiration? I mean, you can always go and find Pinterest if you're looking for something, but this conversation here says, we can make something at home. So you're providing a very like helpful tip on something that's easy to prepare, but also again, going back to seeing like what's the nutritional value and how I'm contributing to my well-being.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is always a struggle to find a healthier alternative, especially to products that have been consumed for a long time, and it's part of almost like a cultural food by now.
Yeah.
And to break away from that, especially once you start realizing how important it is to nourish our bodies, and you have to make decisions every single time when you sit down to eat. Okay, is this going to be nourishing for me? And sure, this is gonna take a little bit longer. You cannot buy this in a package in the store. You will have to buy different items. But to me, that's also kind of fun, you know? You can
For sure. And it's a little bit how much you love yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I think cooking can be fun because it's like, you know, discovering new things and expanding your own capacity and your own abilities to make your own meals. And then when you see that finished product, and you're like, wow, I came a long way. I came from ramen to, you know, healthier pasta.
And also, if you have authentic broth, if you have authentic pasta, you know what? Real ingredients, and you're also supporting real farmers out there.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, and you know, I have gone to Natural Choice a few times, and I'm always amazed at everything in the store, because it's like a lot of these things you don't find everywhere. Like you're not finding at Publix and Brody's and stuff. It's a lot of different new, very healthy alternatives, like monk fruit and these other sugar alternatives. Like I can't find anywhere else.
That's what Miss Elsie is curating for everyone. You know, she's like always.
It's hard for me to find Greek yogurt, but every time somebody asks me, I tell them, you always have Greek yogurt. The granola, so good. I don't even.
You know what I had for breakfast this morning because I was in a hurry. I didn't have much time. I had cookies for breakfast.
Oh.
Who can say that and be proud of it, you know? But the cookies I had were sugar-free, low-carb, keto-friendly, made by myself. And I actually have some in the store as well. But my point is, you can have some of these forbidden foods, so to say, but you just need to learn how to make them so that they're more healthifying. Like healthify them so that they're more easily absorbed into our bodies and also nourishing our bodies. So, yeah.
I'm here in the background, just enjoying this red soup, this noodle soup, because I have to say, even like the consistency of the noodle itself is a lot better than going for an actual pack of like ramen. You know, like it has substance.
it has more texture.
Definitely.
And as you're, but just think about it. As you're eating it, there's more nutrition in this. Like it. Don't you feel the health coming?
I do. I'm like,
it's a good breakfast, right?
I would have loved to make it with homemade broth. I didn't have it today available. I often do have it in my freezer, but just today I didn't, and it was quick notice. But because of that, I get to use some of the other items I have in my store, which is next best thing.
Yeah.
So, because the ramen package already come pre-packaged, and you can control with the amount of sodium that's in there, and with these homemade broths, you can control exactly what you put in there. Yeah.
Great. Awesome.
Wow.
So remind the viewers out there how people can get to the store.
I'm located on Independence Drive, number 8 Independence Drive in Belize City. It's right close to Divine Mercy Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Well, Ms. Elsie, we thank you so much for joining us today for this amazing treat. You know, what a great way to start the day. You know, healthy. We had a great conversation with Ms. Karen about what nutrition is like. How can you go about inserting into your lifestyle? And now you're giving us like practical ways and leading us like where can we get healthy food too, which is like very beautiful, which is Natural Choice Belize, where we can find you. Courtney, it's also time for us to start winding down on the show.
Yeah, so let's talk about the guests that we have today. First of all, you know, we started off with, you know, we come off with a very spicy beef, so now we're ending off like healthy compared to the beef this morning. And then we want to thank Ms. Karen Recito, nutritionist, who is here talking about maternal and child health. And, you know, you can contact her if you need that consultation. If you want to get your diet, and we say diet, but it's really a lifestyle. If you want to get it on track and you need help, you know, these things, sometimes it's difficult it's so overwhelming. So if you need help, if you need consultation, Ms. Rosita, she would do the entire body check. And put you on your path, because we all have individual dietary paths based on where you are in life and the level of activity you have in your everyday. And then, we have Miss Elsie Wolf at Natural Choice Belize, where you can find these amazing egg noodles, and you can find, I'm telling you, this store is kind of amazing. I'm always like, I'm looking at everything on the shelf. If you need sugar-free, like, puddings and it's amazing.
It is, yes.
It's stuff that you would never ever think about. It's like, I didn't know this was sold in Belize, just for sure. So definitely, if you're looking to change up something in your diet, stop by Natural Choice Belize on Independence Drive. Yes.
Which is close to Divine Mercy.
Yeah, it's like the lane before Divine Mercy.
It's in the lane of Divine Mercy, is it?
Yeah, and then you go down.
Up from Brody.
Okay, great. See, and then sauerkraut, bouillon, egg noodles, it's all here, and it's all waiting for you.
Yeah. As we wrap up, Ms. Elsie, what are your last words that you would like to share with our viewers?
Well, I always like to say that local means fresh. Fresh means more nutritious, and nutritious means more delicious. And the sauerkraut is that way. The pasta is that way. It's local. It's fresh, and that's what we want. We want more nutrition in our diets, but we also want it to be nutritious. So choose local, fresh items.
Yeah.
And homemade as much as possible. Learn to cook.
Yeah, and that support, learn to cook.
I know.
It's a basic life skill that all of us should have, right?
Sure. It
and
is.
also by supporting, your local farm, by local foods, you support your local farmers also.
Absolutely. You're supporting the small local farmers.
If somebody goes by your shop, will you be able to give them some helpful tips also?
I always give helpful tips as much. If people ask, sometimes.
All right, that's good to know.
I do that, yes.
So you might come up with a new recipe after you visit Natural Choice Belize. But folks, we thank you so much for joining us on this Monday. It was truly a pleasure interacting with you. If you're watching via Facebook Live, YouTube, or your cable TV, we're going to see you. Have a great start of your week. We love you. Courtney?
And as you're taking care of your physical health, you also take care of your mental health. If it's out of your hands, it should be out of your mind.
Ooh, Ms. Elsie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure.
All right, folks. Bye. Have a great Monday. We love you.
A place to call your home, a place where you can grow. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns we share today. You will discover how the world turns each day. When the sun comes up